Hi everyone, my name is Chester. This video briefing is about Python lab setup. Now this video is intended for all the trainers. First of all, I would like to thank those who are volunteering your time to actually help us on this project. Alright, so this lab setup is to enable you to have a clear instructions on what should you do when you first go into the schools to conduct training. All right, so my name is Chester. I'm one of the content provider for Python, and I'll be the one briefing you throughout all the videos, future videos on Python. Coming next is key points for this particular video. It's briefing about Python lab setup. All the trainers, I am recommending two options for you guys, and definitely I will be covering their comparisons. You need to make a choice between something called Anaconda and Python. Essentially, they have their key differences, and I believe you guys should be given a freedom to choose which one that best suits the situation that you're in, right? And also some backup plans, because based on my experience, there's always something going on, and there's always something that went wrong for some reason, especially when you're going to the schools, right? So now let's get started. So chances are it's either you, which is a trainer, or the school teacher that needs to set up the coding environment. Now, there's only one key thing that you need to know, which is the computer specification. Now, for those one from non-technical background, you can just skip these two lines. You don't need to know anything about it, but a quick benchmark is we will need to have a PC that is able to run Microsoft Word. So if you see that there's no issue running Microsoft Word, then it's good enough for our case. All right. Now for those professional ones, we need 2 gigabits of RAM. There's a good reason for that. All right. Moving on. So as I mentioned earlier, there's something called Anaconda, which it's fairly new to all the trainers, and something that you guys might have heard when you sign up for this project, which is Python. Now, Anaconda is sort of like a happy meal set of Python, meaning that Anaconda itself contains Python, whereas this Python that we are talking about is a pure lean Python. Now, this Anaconda has a lot of training friendly tools that I will do a demo later, right? So moving on is to actually let you to make a choice, because it's very important. Why? Check out the size. First thing first, the size of Anaconda is at least 300 something megabytes and for 32 bits, and if it's a 64-bit system, you will need to have 400 megabytes. And then the copy time, from if you need to set up 20 PC, just imagine the time you need, and versus whatever that Python is, it's around 30 MB, all right, regardless of any versions. Now the installation time on standard PCs is around 20 minutes, but if for some schools you might take up to an hour to install, and for just the lean Python is 10 minutes. But then Anaconda offers something called a virtual environment support, IPython, Jupyter Notebook, which I will cover. The overall comment is this is an all-in-one package, whereas Python doesn't provide anything, but the key thing is that it's a very, very quick setup, right? Now, I would recommend that for trainers, at least for your PC, you would need to have Anaconda, all right? You need to install this one. There's a very, very good reason for that one. And then for the remaining student PC, you install Python. That is the best advice that I can give you. If you have the time and the resources, please everyone go for Anaconda. If not, then go for Python. All right. So I would demo what is how do you download Anaconda and set it up, and also how do you download Python as well. So hold on. So this is the Anaconda download page. Once you reach this, you would have two options. If you are not sure which option to go to 32. If you are pretty sure your system is running 64, then you can just use 64-bit. So once you reach that, then it's once you download it, then it's just follow instruction and it should be good. Whereas for Python, it's a little bit tricky. So let me go to the main download page. Okay, Python downloads. Once you're in here, you'll be presented with a whole list of selection. All right, now go with this version. All right, go with this version. Once you click it, just click download and then go through the standard installation. All right, so but before that let me show you the key difference between these two. All right, now moving on, it's I would show you guys some key differences. So if you have Anaconda, this is actually Anaconda. Activate code Python. Of course, there will be a separate video covering this. So Anaconda gives you a lot of stuff. For example, Jupyter Notebooks or something called IPython. And IPython is something where the trainer will actually appreciate it because it gives you a lot of we call it IntelliSense. So when you are playing with codes, it gives you support for that one. This is something where the standard Python doesn't give you. All right, so and you can see that it gives you a lot of introduction. It gives you a introduction and an overview of all the features, right? And another thing is something called a Jupyter Notebook, which once you hit enter, you'll be presented with this. And this is a very friendly tool because any code that you have here, you can actually run it and then it will print all the result for you, right? For example, as you can see here, all the results are live in a sort of like a web page environment. All right, so that's IPython and all the tools that you have. Whereas for just the pure Python, this is what you have, and you are being limited to all this quite dull without any IntelliSense environment. So it's not a good teaching tool for student. All right, they do have something called Python IDLE, but again, you can actually tell a difference between these two. So this is definitely a much better option versus whatever that is in here just by the user interface. All right, okay, so that's your call. All right, then it's finally something called the backup plan, because sometimes your lab setup will fail, or the next day when you come back to do your workshop, you found out that the students have messed up the setting, then, or just nice that you don't have sufficient computers. So the final option is to use the web IDE. I would recommend all the trainers to use IDE 1 because it's an instant environment, no sign up, no advertisement, or you don't have to pay anything, but you lose reading and writing file and custom import. Now, some of our chapters we will need to depend on these two features, but again, this is a backup. If all else fails, you would have to fall back to web IDE. All right, and last but not least is always check for the internet status first. So on the first day, just ask the lecturers or the teachers how good is their internet, so that you have a rough idea whether the web IDE is possible or not. Else, you might need to carry some laptops. I'm not sure. You need to check with the program manager for some contingency plan. All right. So that's all for the lab setup briefing. Thanks.